we are going live, and I am going live on Twitter, and I'm going to talk about micro strategies. It wants me to invite people. And then, anyways, this is a test. I do believe we are live on Twitter. So this is my first time going live. See, I have another phone. So we're going to get people into Twitter Spaces. It looks like there are a zero amount of people in the Twitter space. I will calm down so I'm not breathing ravagely. One thing that I found out, and I've been really working on it, I've been doing these spin classes. It's like I've gone about 10 times, but I've been working on my breathing. It's amazing how important breathing is for your health and your exercise and your well-being. Your gut is like, the other day I was having back problems. I realized it was really, I started doing chest exercises, like breathing exercises, and it really helped my back. So I was, the Moose, Mitch, but sometimes I get a little bit, forget what I'm saying. But so we are doing Twitter Spaces. So I'm going to try to log in onto my Twitter Spaces. And anyways, like, this is a test. I'm not really here to entertain anybody. This is not here for entertainment purposes. Maybe if we turn on some of these lights back here, we can have a little bit more brightness. Okay. I don't know what about this position. And this is even my first time going live on YouTube. So I'm live on YouTube, and then I'm on Twitter Spaces. So I'm trying to do that. So I am the host, and if you're not familiar with Twitter Spaces, it's kind of set up like a classroom where you can like raise your hand and talk. I don't have anybody in there. It looks like there's 13 people in the YouTube. I know my friend that does this. He puts on does Twitter Spaces and YouTube Live at the same time. Again, this is just me testing doing Twitter Spaces. Let me see if I can log in. Anyways, my name is @Chapman, CHAPMAN, Chappie. Oh, we're back live. We had 20 people listening. What are you trying to do? Well, hype games. I'm trying to do Twitter Spaces. I apologize. This is just a test. This is the first time I've gone live on YouTube. This is the first time I've gone live on Twitter Spaces. So we got more people. All right, anyone who loves me. Okay, I don't know what people are talking about on YouTube. Anyways, hi out there. We are trying to do Twitter Spaces. So basically, I'm trying to connect with my other phone. I was trying to tell you guys how you can get onto the Twitter Spaces. I guess maybe I should try to entertain the people on YouTube a little bit, but the whole point of this is to do the Twitter Spaces thing. Just bear with me. Um, how's everybody doing? I guess if you're tuning in right now, you probably don't live in Florida. Okay, so I'm going to log in. You can see I'm logging in with my other phone, with my other account. Now I have, I have me as a listener, and there's actually um, one listener on Twitter Spaces. I think if they raise their hand, I'm supposed to let them talk because Twitter Spaces is set up like a classroom. So you have a host and a co-host. So originally my co-host was supposed to be on at 9 o'clock, and we're going to do this anyways. This is the first time that I am doing this. If you want to log in on Twitter, it's Chapman Chappy, ChapmanChappy at Chappy. The current name is Dickolas Wage, Dickolas space Wage, Dickolas Wage. And of course, that's not my real name, but. And then on my YouTube, we just dropped down to 20 people, and the other listener dropped out. So the plan is to talk about micro strategies. Now, MicroStrategies is a stock on the stock market that owns, and if you know anything about it, they're known for owning a lot of Bitcoin. They actually own 252,000 Bitcoin, which is 1.2% of the total supply. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of BlackRock, but it is a company that pretty much owns every single company in the world. But they own, I didn't get the exact number, but they own $24 billion worth of Bitcoin. See, I don't like doing this because I was not the guy. I was the guy that today fucking, I'm not a very good reader, so maybe I'll just go by my notes anyways. But I don't know if you know who Michael Saylor. Actually, Michael Saylor has 17,000 Bitcoin, and he's not the CEO, but he's pretty much the founder of MicroStrategies. I think he's just an executive officer right now. Anyways, he's a really smart guy that went to MIT. Now, I also want to tell you, now, a typical Michael Saylor video is like an hour to 3 hours long. So if you see like a short one, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and they're saying, you send me a Bitcoin, I send you a Bitcoin, don't do it. There's a lot of scams where they use AI and they'll impersonate celebrity CEOs, and they will try to scam you out of your Bitcoin. Ways to identify scams is there's usually a countdown number. They want you have a certain time period to do it. There's usually a QR code. It's usually better than you can believe. So just be really, really careful. Speaking of scams, when MicroStrategies is at $183 today. and it's down a little bit. So if you want to buy it, today is probably a very, very, I'm not a financial advisor, but today is probably, it might be one of the last chances you can get where it's down 5%. Now, Bitcoin and the majority of crypto is supposed to be down just a little bit bearish this week. It's not going to be very bullish, but there are some cryptos spiking, like Uniswap was up 18%, which I've always been telling everybody that they should buy Uniswap because if you do the math, it brings in almost an average of $2.5 million a day, which Bitcoin only brings in $4 million a day, which is such a bigger crypto. Anyways, the numbers are better on Uniswap than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin doesn't have all the ETFs and the banks and the big companies owning it in the mainstream adoption. Anyways, MicroStrategies also has AI agents. I keep learning more and more about their AI department. It's not just a bunch of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy also does a lot of AI stuff. I knew a guy that he went to the very first Bitcoin conference, bought like $30 worth when it was like 30 cents. And then now he's like almost a billionaire. But anyways, so the people that went to these conferences made all these connections. Anyways, MicroStrategies has a lot of connections since they're like the king of Bitcoin. So that's when it comes to the AI solutions, they're in with the right people. The one thing about crypto and the stock market is it's kind of like cliquish, kind of almost mafia-ish, like they say, like the PayPal mafia. But like a lot of the successful cryptos, you can all link back to the same few people that were the people that started PayPal. Anyways, people that work. So they have a lot of really good connections. Now, the day when actually, so MicroStrategies is about to, they might possibly at the end of the quarter, if they hit their numbers, for 2 quarters, we are back live. So yes, so once MicroStrategies hits the S&P 500, so 2 quarters ago they qualified to hit the S&P 500, and so 2 quarters ago they hit their number. Well, they're big enough, but they didn't hit their numbers because a lot of the things is they buy the Bitcoins on using debt or on margin or whatever. So it kind of their numbers don't really hit right. It's kind of screwy. But Michael Saylor doesn't sound. I don't want to be written. He can manipulate the numbers the way he wants to. MicroStrategies is up 165% on the year to date. Anyways, it is down 5% today. One of the things is like it's like the fourth best company for the hedge funds. Now, like I said, if they get into the S&P 500s, that means all the S&P 500 ETFs. Do you know what ETF is? It's like a stock that owns a bunch of companies. So it's a group of companies all bought together. So everybody is going to have to buy MicroStrategies if it gets in the S&P 500. During the Silver Bank collapse, they got kicked out of the S&P 500. I bought Blackstone, and it has, even though it is a real estate company, I've been making a ton of money because they entered the S&P 500. We're back to zero on the YouTube, and no one is listening on Twitter. Oh, someone came back. Anyways, I think we're going to end it right there. I'm going to check out my audio and see how everything went. And like I said, I just wanted to do a little test. I'll probably do another test, but I need to, get some information and figure out something to talk about. Anyways, we're ending it right here.